Well, it's the biggest ticketed event in Australia and has been promoting agriculture for over 200 years. But what does the future of the Sydney Royal Easter Show look like, and what are they trying to find out from Beef 2024? I'm joined by President of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales, John Bennett, Chair of their Cattle Committee, Mike McHugh, and CEO Brock Gilmore. Mike, we're going to start with you because you're from the beef background yourself. You have a wonderful program down there that runs for 5 days and then another 6 days with your dairy as well. 1,500 stud cattle here. How does Sydney Royal stack up to Beef 2024?
Yeah, with beef cattle, we'll between our breeding beef cattle and the steers, we'll have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 in good years, and this year we were about 1,200. So yeah, it varies on the seasons and things like that, but well over 1,000 most years.
What's your own involvement in the beef industry?
Well, I grew up on a cattle farm. We have a Santa Gertrudis stud, but then also involved in feedlotting and commercial aspects that way as well. So we had a family-operated feedlot for decades.
You'll be thrilled to know that yesterday our grand champion interbreed female was Santa Gertrudis. Very
good.
Proud industry. What are you hoping to learn at Beef 2024, or what are you hoping to see?
Well, I've come to beef for most of them, so I think I've missed one in the last 24 years. So it's just a great opportunity to catch up with all of our friends and things like that we don't get to see all the time. But with the Sydney show hat on, it's just great to see how different aspects of shows, different committees do things differently, and that we've come just to see how operationally things work in other places.
John, as President, this is quite a different event in the sense that a big proportion of the people here are very much in agriculture. Your event, the dynamics are a little different.
Yeah, enormously different events, Lindsay, and a big part of our mandate is bridging the city-country divide. And I guess these days, our competitions are front and centre of what we do, and probably not so industry-based as the event here is. But gee, I mean, we have just been so impressed since we've been here. Only just today, I'm ashamed to say, and unlike Mike, my very first time ever to Beef Week, and just so impressed.
You're all looking far too fresh to have done the previous 6 days. Everyone else is coming in here and like smiling through delirium. Brock, 200 years plus for Sydney Royal. How on earth do you keep making it bigger and better as CEO?
Yeah, as you said, Lindsay, it's the largest ticket event in Australia. I always say the largest ticket event in the Southern Hemisphere, actually. This year we had 800,000 people through the gate. We had a non-school holiday show. When we have a school holiday show, we can get in excess of 900,000. What's our point of difference? And why we've been so successful? It's because of agriculture. Agriculture's our point of difference. As you said before, bringing the country to the city, because our city folk don't see these large animals, whether it be sheep and cattle. And the more we invest in agriculture, year by year, the more successful the event will be.
Mike, huge focus here today on the next generation coming through. What does Sydney Royal do to ensure that the beef cattle and dairy cattle sector has competitions that engage the young ones?
Yeah, like here, we have days dedicated to our youth events, and in both beef and dairy, it's where the future is. We have a strong association with the ASC and having young judging and young paraders competitions. We actually have committees devoted specifically to that run all of across the whole show, not just in cattle, but across, I think it's 42 or 48 different young judging events, from grains and flowers through to livestock and everything in between. So it's a huge focus of what we try to do. It's where the future is.
One of the most complex parts of this year's Beef 2024, I would say, John, is Beef TV. It's an ambitious feat, and it reminds me a little of your very own grand parades in the centre ring, where you have the hubris to put all of these animals in together and hope that it all goes well. Describe to people what it is for those who haven't seen one.
Oh, well, it's our opportunity to really showcase the majority of our exhibitors at the show to the public. It's the one opportunity where they see all the breeds come together, and that's horses, or species in fact, horses, cattle, pigs, sheep, but we have poultry in there, dogs, as you know, our rural achievers, our young women. It really is such a special part of the show. In the old days, of course, they did one every day, but these days, across the 12 days, we just do 3.
Much more sensible.
Yeah, plenty for us but really is such an important part of what we do.
You're from dairying country in New South Wales.
I am indeed, yeah, South Coast. Yeah.
You love your horses.
Absolutely.
Father an Olympian, but I saw recently your latest agricultural pursuit is watermelons.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I put some watermelons in for my grandfather. Always grew watermelons for years and years on the place at home. So a few years ago we put some in for the show for the Southern District exhibit, and they did quite well. So I did put some in this year for them. And of course the early show I wasn't nearly early enough. So Easter show was in March, and mine were just ripe last week. So missed the boat.
Now, if the three of you were reincarnated in the bovine variety, what breed do you think you'd be?
Lindsay, we just saw this question a second ago on the TV while we were watching in your green room. My colleague on the end here says that I should say Belted Galloway. I'm not sure why in fact that is. But
They're not here, but
I'm not sure, but in any case...
they're very striking, I think.
Belted Galloway.
Brock?
I did hear you say Angus were robust and reliable, so I'm going to go with the
That's a
Angus.
nice one, Mike.
I love
Santa
my Sanders.
Gertrudis, I knew you would. Predictable. Great to see the team here from the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Thanks for joining
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Beef TV.